I just added a $1 version of my procedural material add-on. It has 18 materials instead of more than 100 of the full version, but that way you can try it and see if that works for you. Hi, welcome to this new tutorial. We are going to see how we can create these cables that you can just draw on your surface like this. We are using Blender 3.2 Alpha. I think you can follow this one on 3.1 if you want. In this case, I will use a cube. And we are also using a curve Bezier, but we are going into edit mode, and on the tool panel here with T if you don't see it, you can change this to draw the curves here, and we will use, instead of cursor, we're using surface. We will select everything with A, delete all these vertices. We will bring back our cube, and now we can draw and we'll stick to the shape of the cube. I will exit edit mode, and with my Bezier curve selected, I will go to geometry nodes and create a new geometry nodes on that curve. We are going to make the endpoints here, the shape of the end of the cable. We are going to make it simple. I will use a cylinder as the base. Let's put it here so we can see what we are doing. I will change the radius to 0.07, and I will use a value node to drive the depth because we are going to use it also on some other point. This is 0.1. I will use instance on points. My points will be the ones from the curve, and my instance will be this one that we are creating here. Now we have one on each of the points of the curve, but we don't want the ones on the middle. We want just the endpoints. So we are going to use endpoints selection, and we are going to select the first from the start and the first from the end. Only the ones we want will be selected. And now we have this. So far they are facing the same direction. We are going to fix that later. I'm using an object info. I will select the cube. I will use a transfer attribute nil. So I can transfer the normals from this. I will use this geometry. Here I will change this from float to vector. And I will use a normal node here. This is the attribute that we are transferring. And I will use this mapping. We can now use this to rotate these objects to the normal of the face. So I will use align the Euler to vector, and I will align the z-axis to this vector here, and we plug this to the rotation. So now each one aligns to the face they are closer to. Let's arrange this a bit. And now, because we have the origin point of this in the middle, this is like half way in. So I'm going to use the depth. I will multiply it by 0.5 and change this to multiply. And we will use this on a combine z-axis. We will use a transform. And we will plug this on the translation here. Now they are placed correctly. And we can use a set position here, vector math, and the position, so we can multiply. The position I will use for x and y, 0.5, and I will leave the depth multiplied by 1. And we will use the top here. So we select only the top part of the cylinder and plug this on the position. We can select everything here, Ctrl J, and call it whatever you want. Here I will add a route here, group to mesh, curve circle, 0.01. We can make this 12 or less. And now we can join this at the end, join geometry, and plug this here. Okay, we have this. The first thing we can see is that it's sticking to the surface. We want this to be separated from the surface there. So to do that, we will use the normals of the faces to push the cable away from the surface. We will use the same information that we have here with the normals. So we will take this, and I will use a vector math scale. We will take this to the end because we are going to make changes to it. Now we'll use a set position, and we plug this into the offset. We will decrease this value. We can add a resample curve here. I'm using length here because if the cables are shorter, we don't want a fixed number. This is going to resample the curve depending on the length. Okay, we move this a bit. this needs to start aligned to the normal and then curve towards there. So for that, we are going to use set handle position. We will use another scale like this one to control a bit the starting of the curve. We will plug this here, and we will have an endpoint selection, so we can make different things to the first and last points. For the first one, I will use the start, not the end. I plug this in the selection. I will use the right handle because I don't want the left one to go up, because that will make the cable start going down. And I will use another one that will use the endpoint plugged here. And in this case, we will select the left handle. Now we plug this scale to the offset of both. And you can see how they both start going up. In this case, I have 2 points too close together. So I will edit here and move it to it. And this will adapt, for example, if you take this, Control B, and we go to our cable, edit mode. Remember T if you don't see this. We use the one to draw, and you can draw your cables here. If you want more resolution on your curves, you can also change this. Instead of resample, you can use the set spline resolution. This will affect Bezier curves only, and you can set the resolution there. And if you end up with things like this, you can use a combination of both. And there you are. Okay, I hope you have liked this tutorial, and see you on the next one.